So looking back, you don't regret that tough language during the campaign?
No, and I do not think that it is off base, nor mean-spirited, nor negative campaigning to call someone out on their associations and on their record, and that's why I did it.
And just one historic footnote, was that your idea or did somebody write those lines for you?
It was a collaborative effort there in deciding how do we start bringing up some of the associations that perhaps would be impacting on an administration, on the future of America. But again, though, Wolf, knowing that it really, at this point, I don't want to point fingers backwards and play the blame game, certainly on anything that took place in terms of strategy or messaging in the campaign. Now is the time to move forward together, start progressing America.
Sarah Palin talking to Wolf Blitzer today in Miami, where she was attending a Republican governors conference. She's talking a lot these days, you may have noticed. These aren't exactly bright and shiny times for the Republican Party. The Miami meeting was a chance to talk about where the GOP may be headed and how to regain the ground it has lost. For Governor Palin, it was also a chance to get her message out to the reporters she preferred to avoid on the trail. CNN's Dana Bash has the raw politics.
16 Republican governors are gathered for a conference in Miami, but there's only one generating this crush of cameras. Sarah Palin, wading through reporters, still defending herself against post-election criticism from anonymous McCain aides.
It's a cowardly way, certainly, of wrapping up a campaign. Okay. So I'm curious, too, as to who these people were.
And always happy to discuss her future.
I think it's what I represent, just everyday hardworking American families. A woman on the ticket that perhaps represents that. It would be good for the ticket. It would be good for the party.
Palin is one of many GOP governors who represent rare bright spots for an otherwise depressed party. Popular figures like Florida's Charlie Crist, Louisiana's Bobby Jindal, and Minnesota's Tim Pawlenty. All here debating the Republicans' way out of the wilderness and not so subtly competing to be the party's guide. South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford came preaching a return to fiscal responsibility and bristles at the suggestion that Palin is suddenly the leading voice here.
Are there a lot of other governors who are going to be sitting around the same table who have just as strong an opinion as they had before she was the nominee? Yes. Will she be among the different strong voices? Yes. Will she be the strong voice? No.
Governor Pawlenty is here pushing to modernize the GOP, broaden its appeal, and made a point of reminding us about the narrow scope of Palin's.
Out on the campaign trail, she generated a lot of excitement within the Republican Party base. But again, for all of us, the question is, it's great to have good Republican rallies, but the real challenge and opportunity is we got to grow the party beyond just the base if we're going to be successful.
Most of these Republican governors are eager to share their prescriptions for their ailing party. So Wolf Blitzer asked Palin for her ideas.
Nothing specific right now, sitting here in these chairs that I'm going to be proposing, but in working with these governors who, again, on the front lines, are forced to, and it's our privileged obligation to find solutions to the challenges facing our own states every day, being held accountable.
A non-answer that did not go unnoticed among some fellow governors who admire Palin's star power, but privately wonder if she has the policy chops to carry the party long term.
Palin may begin to answer that question on day 2 of this conference. She'll join some of her fellow Republican governors in a panel discussion entitled Looking Towards the Future, the GOP in Transition. Dana Bash, CNN, Miami.